Welcome to FedScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here today at the IT Modernization Summit, and joining us is Tom Simmons. Tom is Vice President for the Public Sector for Citrix Systems. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Wyatt. It's good to be here.
Great. So we're talking about IT modernization, and I think one question I'd like to get your perspective on is some of the current barriers you still see in place to enabling agencies to move forward with IT modernization.
So that's a great question. I don't see any barriers when it comes to ideas and embracing technology and embracing new processes to take advantage of those technologies. I think the two biggest barriers that we see in our work with government is the constraints of policy and legacy systems, and then the challenge with funding. How do you pay for and build this new infrastructure while you maintain the legacy infrastructure that has been around for years and years and years?
Well, and I think the next question might be is, how can CIOs better enable their teams to transform their IT, knowing that they still face those challenges?
So I think the biggest thing that CIOs can do today is to understand the value of mobile workloads and be able to transform their existing IT into workloads that can live in government data centers today, with the ability to transform those into cloud infrastructure, or what's more likely going to be the case, a hybrid of cloud and government data center infrastructure down the road. So if we can start migrating these workloads, applications, and the associated data with those applications to be more portable, then that gives us a whole lot more flexibility as we see the compute platforms mature over time.
Well, and let's talk a little about what systems are probably best positioned right now to make a move on. What specific systems lend themselves to this?
I think what you're seeing today is a migration of the horizontal kind of solutions, office productivity suites, some of the ancillary applications that support that around document readers and calendar and presentation materials. I think the challenge down the road is, when do we start migrating some of the workloads off legacy applications like mainframes and mini computers in the government data center, which were designed for those platforms with a specific use in mind. How do we get those to a more modern IT infrastructure?
Well, it makes sense. And finally, how do non-technical qualities like culture and workforce talent play into this scenario?
I think the government, like private sector, everybody's competing for the best and brightest out there today. And we have a whole generation of folks coming into the workforce that are used to working on their own terms, not necessarily tied to an office, not necessarily working on a government-furnished laptop that might be years-old technology. I think the non-technical aspect of today's IT environment is we do need to provide the flexibility for folks coming into the government workforce with the ability to do the job the way they want to do it, with the tools that they bring to the environment. And the technology's out there today to allow that without sacrificing or compromising security at all.
And lastly, cybersecurity is always a part of the equation. IT modernization kind of opens the door to improving cybersecurity, but how do you see it fitting in the conversation today?
So I think the unique aspect of government is that government does collect and have access to data that is critical to doing the mission, but that is also very sensitive when it comes to not only the user data of government employees and contractors, but equally as important, the citizens that use those services electronically. So cybersecurity is paramount, and private industry, companies like Citrix, are dedicated to making sure that we have strong authentication techniques so that those people that need access to the data that they're supposed to have access to have easy access to that. And that when somebody who's not supposed to be on the network or accessing specific data, IT has some visibility and alerts into when and how that's happening so that they can mitigate that risk immediately. I think beyond that, as we start moving workloads to the cloud, as we start putting data accessible from the cloud, the ability to centrally secure data, sync and share that data across devices in a user population is again a critical component of IT modernization so that folks can get their job done.
Well, certainly I think the fact that both converge and just help government do its mission better gives us an extra urgency to get moving with it. So, hey, well, thanks for being with us, sharing some of your insights with us. Tom Simmons with Citrix Systems. Appreciate your being with us.
Thanks, Wyatt.
And thanks for watching today.